All right, let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go into GarageBand and click Empty Project. And you'll come to this handy screen, which will show you the different kinds of audio that you can record. So software instrument is anything like a media or a MIDI keyboard, and then obviously guitar and microphone. But what I like to start off with is the drummer, which is a really handy way to get started without needing an instrument. So the first thing you'll do is come to this screen. This is where all of your tracks will be. So if you want to add a track, you go over to this little button, click add, but we'll hold off on that for a sec. So over on the left is your library of sounds. This will be, where all of your instruments will be, all of your presets, all of your different kinds of instruments that are inside of GarageBand. And for drummers, over here, you get this fun little interface to add sounds. This little trackpad thing. You can mess with hi-hat. Sorry, excuse my French. So you can move that little button around to get the sound you want, loud, complex, soft, and that'll change what's happening up here in the track bar, which will be where the actual track lives. So you can play it, you'll hear it, it's very funky, sounded good, sounded nice. And then if you want to extend it, you hover over here, grab the track, and just pull it along to the right there, and that will extend the track as far as you want it to go. If you want to extend the entire track itself, go up to the top right and drag over. So now we have our drum track set up, and we can move around with it, hear how it sounds. I encourage you to spend some time playing around with this because it's pretty fun. You can choose how often you want the hi-hat to come in, which is the little drum on the left. You can change the drummer. They have fun names. So it'll be like modern hip hop, R&B. So, choose your flavor of the day and you'll be ready to go. And so now we've got our drummer. And you can, when you develop it, you'll be able to hear it. Sounding really good. Exactly how I'm feeling while I'm sitting in an airport, feeling very Motown funk. So now I've got our drum track. So let's get started building a song. So you go over the click add instrument, and we don't have any instruments with us. Remember, again, we're in an airport lounge, so we're just going to choose software instrument, which will allow us to make a song using just what's inside of GarageBand. So create, boom, and now we've got our electric piano that's happening. So you'll see over here there's different kinds of instruments and then different kinds of those instruments. So we're starting off with electric keyboard, which is a great way to start. So we can go back to the beginning. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Window, Show Keyboard, and we've got this handy internal keyboard that pops up. We can go over to musical typing, and now what we've got is a way to just click on the keys on our actual computer and then make notes come out with that. So it's a way you've got your own keyboard on the go with you all the time when you've got GarageBand. And what you can actually do, you can't see it in the video, but if I actually just press the keys with my fingers, it'll show up here. So I'm just pressing down the H and the K key and the G key, and I'm starting to play some music right in there. And you can see the reason you know if it's got the internal thing happening is if that green bar flashes there. So we go to record, which is that red button up top. We see it, and all of a sudden, this is how we know we're recording. It's because this red line is moving along there. So I'm just starting to play. I'm jamming out. I'm going bum, 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 something like that. And I'm recording and recording. I'm playing. And anytime you see, if it's a MIDI keyboard, you'll see these little lines on this red bar here, and that'll mean that's sort of the way that the computer is reading the input. So we got our keyboard laid down here. Go back to the beginning. And now we're going to push that back to the beginning as well. And let's think. Let's add some. Think about what we want to add. So we're playing it back. It's sounding pretty good. Very funky, as I said before, because we're in an airport and we love to funk in an airport. So let's go add again. And let's add another software instrument, and let's add some bass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to bass, but I see that I don't have bass downloaded. So I'm just going to go over to synthesizer. And what I like about synthesizer is that within this, you'll get some different kinds of synth sounds. So there's like EDM bass, EDM chord. I go to EDM bass. I'm just going to choose whichever one sticks out to me. which I think for this purposes will be synth wobble. So I'm going to go back to show musical typing. And now when I play the keyboard on my computer keyboard, it'll sound like this really woozy, wobbly bass sound. So I'm going to go over here and try to record again. And you know, a good tip is that if you're feeling like you don't know any musical theory and you're like, where do I even begin? Whatever notes you played, so if it's like the H key and the K key for the initial thing, your very first track, whenever you're recording a new one, just go back and play those same notes with the different tones. And that's a great, it's always going to sound good if you do that because you're playing the exact same note. So don't even worry about theory. Just mess around with the same notes in different tones, different instruments in here. So as you can see, I'm going to get started playing. I'm waiting for it to come in. 1, 2, 3, boom. H, K, D. Just over and over in a pattern that sounds good to me. And that's how I'm going to get started making the song. So, you know, that's all you got to do. And then you can go back and listen to it. It'll be sequenced usually in if you see these lines, these vertical lines, those are, you know, every 4 count, so it tends to break up the song into depending on what time signature it's in, but don't even worry about that. All you need to know is that you can line things up using the lines if you want them to start at the same time. So there you go. Now we've got our song happening. We've got 3 different tracks. They all sound really good. I'm feeling mellow. I'm ready to take this flight. Feeling very excited about that. And so now we are going to figure out how to add some audio real quick. So this is if you want to use a microphone. Your computer has an internal microphone, so you can just go over to audio, add voice. If you want to be able to hear what's happening on the computer while you're singing or talking, check that little blue square. But be careful because you'll probably get some feedback, so make sure that your microphone or your headphones are always plugged in when you do this. That'll be a really helpful way for you to not have your ears blown out. So we click OK, and now we've got our little blue dude, which is showing us that we are ready to start recording audio. So you can go over to that little input button and choose computer input. In my case, it says no input because I don't have I was using a microphone before. And then it works the exact same way. You just record using that red button. You know, and sing your heart out, write your slam poetry, you know, take it to the next level. And when you're ready to export your song and upload it to SoundCloud, just go up to the top, very, very top bar, grab that yellow, drag it to where you want it to go, the length of the song that you want to go. And then you can just go to share and then move down to song to SoundCloud. And then this little widget will pop up. And you can just log in directly using the SoundCloud info, which I will post on B Courses, sign in, connect, and then export, and you are good to go. Make sure you save your song, you know, much in the same way you would save anything else, because you're going to want to have this if you need to go revisit it the next time you're in an airport to remind yourself how you, too, can make great-sounding songs anywhere with no instruments, which is what the miracle of modern technology can do. Thanks.